Hey everyone, welcome back to Firsthand Globetrotting. Today, I'm back with part 2 of my guide to the local foods that you need to try when you visit the Riviera Maya in Mexico. This area of the country is known for its white sand beaches, turquoise water, and massive all-inclusive beach resorts, but there are also some really great local food options to try while you're there. You'll definitely be able to find these foods in the bigger tourist cities like Cancun, Playa del Carmen, and Tulum, but they even have them on the menus at some of the resorts. The Riviera Maya and the cities that are there are pretty new compared to other parts of Mexico, but since it's part of the Yucatan Peninsula, you have access to a lot of the local foods from the older Yucatan region. In part 1 of the video, I talk about some of the popular dishes that you can find in restaurants. Things like cochinita pibil, poke chook, sopa de lima, tamal brazo de reina, and ish de bentun. If you missed part 1, I'll put a link to it down below. In this video, I'm going to focus on some of the fast food and street food options that you have. Like with all of my food videos, I'm going to talk more about the foods themselves and less on which restaurants to get them at. Since we're talking about street food, it's pretty hard to name specific places since they're often at small little food carts that change locations. But the one piece of advice I have is to venture out a few blocks away from the busy tourist areas in the major cities. You need to get away from the international restaurants in the tourist zones to find the more local, traditional foods. Okay, but enough talking, time to show you some of these amazing things to eat. First up are salbutes. They have corn tortillas as their base, but they're fried, causing them to puff up a little bit, making them more light and airy compared to other Mexican street foods I've had. You'll often find them topped with pulled chicken, lettuce, avocado, and pickled onions. But those aren't the only things you can get on salbutes. I've seen places offering a bunch of different meat options on top, including a lot of the Yucatecan specialties that I've been telling you about in these videos. The next street food I'm going to show you are panuchos. You might be looking at the screen right now thinking that I'm just showing you salbutes again. Trust me, they're different foods, but the difference can be subtle and easy to miss. With panuchos, the corn tortilla base has refried beans added to it before it's cooked, which gives it a slightly different color than the salbutes. And you'll find a lot of the same topping options that the salbutes had. Even though salbutes and panuchos are fried, they aren't as hard and crispy as tostadas, so it's easier to fold them in your hands as you eat them. Next up is the king of Mexican street food, the taco. But you can get all of your favorite Yucatecan foods as taco toppings, giving them a distinct local taste. You'll be able to find things like cochinita pibil or poke chook, and even other foods like the relleno negro that I'm showing you here, a very popular taco topping and pretty easy to find. Especially if you just want a small, inexpensive taste of some of the Yucatecan foods I'm showing you, then tacos are a great option because they're very affordable and you can find them all over town. The next thing I'm going to show you is a very common drink, Agua de Chaya. If you've spent any time in Mexico, you've probably seen aguas frescas for sale at restaurants and from street vendors. Basically, they're water mixed with some fruit, seeds, or plant leaves, and then maybe a little sugar. The one I'm showing you has chaya and pineapple in it. Chaya is a leafy plant that's very common in this part of Mexico, almost like the Yucatan's version of spinach. So you get the superfood benefits of the chaya mixed with the sweetness of the pineapple, making for a really nice and refreshing drink on a hot day. The last food I'm going to show you are Marquesitas, a dessert that you'll usually find being prepared at little food carts. They usually start popping up in the evenings. The base of it is a thin crepe, and then you get to pick from a list of toppings to add to it. I got Nutella and banana in mine, but you'll see a lot of the locals adding shredded Edam cheese to theirs, giving it a sweet and savory mix. And then they roll it up for you, making a nice handheld snack as you enjoy the streets of Mexico. So there they are, 5 street foods that you should definitely check out if you're in the Riviera Maya, Mexico. I'll put a list of their names down below in the video description to make it easier to find them. And I'll also put a link to part 1 of the video in case you want to see any of the other regional foods that I recommended in that one. Overall, there are 10 different foods and drinks, and as I said at the start, I was able to find all of them in Playa del Carmen, and some of them were even available on the menus at all-inclusive beach resorts. In the tourist areas, most restaurants are going to be serving international cuisine and the more well-known Mexican dishes, but if you're willing to walk a few blocks away, you should be able to find a lot more local specialties. Thanks for watching this video. I hope this gave you some great ideas for foods that you want to try on your trip to the Yucatan Peninsula. If you have any questions about anything I've shown you, ask me in the comments. And while you're at it, don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. On Instagram, I'm Firsthand Globetrotting. Follow me on there. And don't forget, it's an incredible world out there, so pick up your passport and do some firsthand globetrotting of your own.